But more importantly for me is the way that the players celebrate. They celebrate with their family. You know, two of the players bring their mums onto the field of play and celebrate right in front of everybody to show the significance of their parents on this journey. What message does that send to other young people, sports people that are on this journey and think that it's a bit tough? But you can share those special moments.
100%, and we were talking actually not so long ago that winning trophies are great, but when you celebrate with your family there, with your parents and your wife and the kids, there's actually no better feeling. Like if I was in Australia, we were both in Australia and they weren't there, it would be great, but it's nowhere near as good as what it was. And also, like, we're not massive like celebrators. We don't celebrate like probably other players do and stuff. So to have our family there was the best way possible to celebrate at the time. So it is huge. And very similarly to Brother Anwar when he was talking about, you know, when he was younger and his dad was, we had the same sort of problems and things, but some of us, everyone reacts differently. Like my way was to go, well, you know, your dad looks like this, and you know, you kind of go back and everyone is different.
I'm going to repeat any of the words.
Well, but it's not embarrassing, but you kind of, you're a bit shy and all these kind of things. So when you celebrate with them in the end, it is it's quite emotional, but it's also very pleasing, and seeing them happy the way they're happy is the most important thing.
As close friends, did it have a special meaning then that you were both in the same squad, winning World Cups? Was it that much? Was that feeling so much different than just being the only one? I suppose is what I want to say.
Yeah, 100%. I think when there's two of you and you have the same sort of background, the same journey, because we're actually very similar. We have two brothers each, both played cricket as well and to a high level. And Rash made it with England, I made it with England, one of my cousins made it. So like we had a very similar upbringing. We just played a lot, trained a lot, and obviously having Pakistani roots as well was huge. And we kind of know exactly how we're feeling. And on top of that, to beat Pakistan, you know, it honestly was really good.
This is something that I've always wanted to ask, and Nujum have given this amazing opportunity to almost a clean sheet, although I've still got to run through about another 9 afternoons questions.
No, they're not.
They're not yours?
They are mine.
So I watched the final, celebrated as anyone would, to be totally honest. I'm from the West Indies. I can't support them anymore because they're not really doing anything. So the days of Clive Lloyd and Viv Richards are long gone. But I saw you both have to leave the podium during the moment of celebration. Now, I don't want to pry because that may have been pre-agreed, but I felt sad that at that moment you couldn't celebrate with your teammates. I know you did, but then there was a moment when you couldn't. Was that all pre-arranged? Was that something that you knew was going to happen? Or because I still can't understand why champagne, or why is it needed if you know that you've got people within your squad whose religious beliefs don't align with that?
Look, there's a couple of things. I think, first of all, it stinks. So the champagne stinks. But, you know, everybody would love a photo with something in the air and, you know, capture the moment. But the players do understand, and it's something that's been happening for a while now. When we've won trophies on the way, or series, the champagne is done. And there is talks about having non-alcoholic drinks and stuff. But it's one of those things where we take a photo with the team and the team really understands and they're cool with it, and then we go and they do their thing. But personally, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all because I understand the tradition. Yeah, the tradition of it. I'm with you. I don't understand it like a lot of it, but I'm like, cool. Whatever the guys want to do is whatever makes them happy. And I understand where people come from, but I also feel like it's alright.
Adil, because I'm like, well, if you were to shake the bottle up, it could be lemonade, couldn't it? And it could just squirt in here. There's the amazing picture, and then walk off and drink whatever you got to drink in your own space. But does it bother you at all? Is it just?
I don't think it bothers us anymore because I think they respect them now because they know, right, boys will take the picture, we go away, we split the champagne. So they got that respect for us as well. I think it's more of, like I say, a traditional thing, something that they just keep doing, they enjoy it, it's a celebration. But the main thing, like I say, is they do have that structure, know that right water spray them, so we tell that completely.
So you both telling me, Troy, leave it alone. It's cool.
No, this is where Nujum has to step in and do the job.
Oh, that's what I was pushing for, to be fair. Guys, listen. How much has your faith shaped your experience within the sport that you love, the sport that you excel in? Has it become easier to be a Muslim in this space? Or are there still battles that you fight? And you don't have to tell me what those battles are.
No, there used to be many battles, and I think that's more from being a bit shy or not wanting to ask and be the guy in the background. But as time's gone on and you feel probably a bit more established in the side, it's a lot easier then to voice your, I guess, your rights to a certain extent. But from a young age, look, my dad told me to always stand up and speak up, don't be shy, and I did that, I guess, for a long time. And actually, there's a lot of credit to a player called Ravi Bopara who played, who, when I first came to the side, he was in the team, and he said to me, never try to fit in, just be you, and if they like you, they like you. If they don't like you, that's their problem. And that actually just stuck with me, for a very long time. That was my first play for England, and I try and, when younger guys come into the side, I try and say the same things to them, because I think it's really important. Because for yourself, and if they don't like you, it's their problem. And as long as you're good with everybody and you're being the best person that you can be, I think it's really, really important. But faith, for me, played a massive part, because when I was younger, as a professional cricketer, I started to go out and do the things I guess everybody else is doing, trying to fit in and socializing and thinking this is the right thing to do, and you can go off the rails, I guess, to a certain extent, and you miss out on those really important years in your career where it's really important for you to not go down, depending on how far you want to go. But faith made a massive impact on my cricket. And I think cricket in itself, like other sports, probably teach you a lot about life. Anyway, there's a lot of ups and downs and these kind of things. And I was quite a deep thinker, and had a lot of questions I needed answering. And then faith came through that way. But yeah, it's made a massive impact on my career.
Why did you both agree, and I'll start with you, Adil, why did you both agree to become an ambassador of this organisation?
I think what they're doing is amazing, like showing everything you see. Myself as well, personally, I find it, I can easily get a phone call to German to speak, and whatever I need to know, whatever I want to know, I know they got my back and speak to them, and they'll give me advice about things, and they'll make life a lot easier for myself, but not just myself, but Muslim sportsmen throughout England as well. So I think for myself, I'm proud to be an ambassador.
Well, Jamil phoned me up and goes, "Do you want to be an ambassador?" And I said, "Okay."
It was that easy.
What did I say? I said we have to be the best.
No, obviously, look, Nujum has done a fantastic job, and when he first mentioned it to me, I thought, "Oh, no, this is exactly what we need." I was thinking more from a cricket point of view as well. It's exactly what we need, and it's not so much about us; it's about the next generation.
I suppose that was going to ask, why does cricket need it, or why does sport need it? Why is it so important?
I think cricket needs it for many, many reasons. Things that we always probably struggle with, for example, the Friday prayer, prayer rooms, and making sure that every ground had halal food, and just these are the things actually, as from a sports person, it wasn't actually the cricket or the that we're playing against is really important.
I can't imagine Ebbs telling you how to play cricket. So.
I've done next with Sakib on Monday.
Yeah,
see my shot.
And, so it was more about, it wasn't about that, it was more about, is the food that we're missing Friday prayers today. And these were the things that actually, on the back of my mind, were a bit niggy, and this is where I think going forward, hopefully the gym.
So there's a lot of people in the room. What would your advice be in regards to supporting the gym, and why? Why do you think it's essential for them to do that? Now they're passing it on to each other.
I think it's really important because there are so many athletes, and like Brother Anwar said earlier, South Asian footballers. I think it's really, really important because these questions do get asked a lot. Even in our change room, people are, why is there no Pakistani or Bangladeshi footballers coming through and stuff. And I think this is where it's not, like I said, it's not about the guys playing right now, especially at the back end of the career. Probably it's about the guys coming through in the academies and the players, the athletes coming through that. And it's more for them. And I think the more we can progress, I think initially with Nujum doing such a great job, I can only see hopefully in the future that it'll open doors, a lot more doors, and it become like a norm, and all these things that these questions people have is just absolutely normal.
Adil, let me come to you then. What's the future for Muslim athletes if they have that support, if they have the guidance, if they have the the organisation to fall back on, if ever they feel like the space that they're in actually doesn't appreciate that they're practicing faith? What kind of future is there now that there is an organisation like Nujum and there's so many proactive people in this space?
I think the future is bright, definitely. They definitely got a platform now to, if they have any problems, any issues, they got somebody they can go to, somebody they can phone and speak about their problems, which definitely this day and age they need that. Like you said before, previous years they were deprived of that, so now they've got these platforms where just one phone call away, any problems, speak to them, and they'll definitely help you out and help you on your journey. So I think the Nujum Sports are doing a great job. Hopefully, like I said, there'll be a lot of people here backing them and hopefully come on our journey as well.
Allowing young Muslim people to progress through the system?
Yeah, I think it is now. I think if you asked me probably 15, 20 years ago, I think it was a lot harder. There's a lot of talented players that I know who I played with and against who just didn't progress, and I think actually it wasn't because of them a lot of the time. It was because of the system, and it was almost at times it's like you can't have too many of these guys, or there's some sort of excuse. And I think cricket, the guys who were older than me at the time were like, we face this, we face that, and we also had the mentality of being like, we're going to change that, or we're going to try and get to a position where we'll be so good that they have to change it. And my dad at the time used to always say you've got to be 10 times better than the guy who goes to a private school and all these kind of things. So we had this sort of mentality. So hopefully now with myself, Rash, Saki, Mahmood, loads of other players coming through, people do see a future in it, and young athletes do see there's a chance, and it doesn't matter where you're from, what you look like, what background you have, what faith you follow, the door's open for everybody, and there is definitely a route.